What's going on, guys? Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's your boy Lawrence here. Got a special guest today, nigga Gutta. We're about to talk about insecurities and what they are.
Now, what's your definition of insecurity?
Insecurity is anything that makes you feel insecure.
Can you elaborate?
Okay, so if you're in a room with somebody and you feel as if that person looks better than you, then you're insecure. They make you insecure.
I will agree.
Now, insecurities stem deep. So a lot of people don't understand when they're being insecure, and they don't understand how their insecurities affect them. So if, for example, we were just talking about the topic of bullying, if somebody is bullying you and they're making you feel insecure, a lot of times what happens is people put on what I like to call an ego, where they build a character that is bigger than the other person or in competition with the other person to try to prove to themselves that they are better than that person, and that is an insecurity in themselves.
So bullying is an insecurity?
Anybody who bullies somebody is insecure.
So we were just talking about if it's a kid, how can a kid be insecure?
Because kids are consistently learning.
Kids are assholes.
Kids are consistently learning, and most people's insecurities stem from when they're children.
So maybe I would say that's a poor choice of words. I would say they are projecting on what they have seen and witnessed as a kid. Maybe they seen their dad beat on their mom, or maybe they seen their older brother.
So
that's not an insecurity.
They seen their dad beat on their mom.
That's a reflection of.
And they do the same thing to somebody else. It's because they're trying to prove to themselves that they are that person that they're trying to replicate.
But it's not an insecurity, though.
That is an insecurity.
It's not. They're just mimicking what they see.
Anything that interrupts your way of life or your personal being in a way that you want to be.
They're kids.
It doesn't matter.
It does.
Every kid comes into the world understanding who they want to be.
A kid doesn't know who the fuck they are.
They learn. They know who they are.
They don't.
They do.
That's why they're a kid. They don't even know if the stove is really hot.
They learn it.
Yeah, by touching it.
They do.
So they don't even. So what I'm saying is, a kid can't be insecure. It ain't until they start getting older and understanding.
So
basically,
let me elaborate more. That kid touches that stove and he realizes, oh shit, this is hot. I don't want to touch it.
Now he knows.
But he knows who he is what I said. He knows that I don't want to keep putting my hand on that fire, right or wrong.
First of all, kids don't even know. They don't even understand the way that the human anatomy works or the body. So how the fuck could they know who they are?
But
they don't know nothing about
that stove is hot, and they know that I don't want to touch it because it's hot. They know something, right?
Yeah, that's a learning process. Look, everything is a learning process.
Okay.
Just because a kid go to the school and bullies another kid doesn't mean the kid probably don't even know why he's doing it.
It's insecurity.
It's not an insecurity. How is that an insecurity? Because all you gotta do is just go to the chat and see what the chat say.
Because there ain't no chat on this. This is a recording.
I know. I'm just talking about.
But in the insecurity, that kid may not understand that he has insecurities, but it's up for the adults to explain it to him and their reasoning for doing it.
It's impossible for a 6-year-old or a 7-year-old to have insecurities.
It is not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Most of people's insecurities come from when they're children.
No.
Oh, I was bullied.
It's called
at this
trauma.
age.
It's not an insecurity.
That's an insecurity.
Trauma is not an insecurity.
Yes, it is.
What?
What is a trauma?
A trauma could be getting your ass beat. A trauma could be witnessing somebody dying in front of you.
And the realization that you don't want to get your ass beat, you change your whole self, your whole perception of yourself in order to accommodate the fact that you don't want to get your ass whooped.
No, Shalert. No.
Yes.
No. A trauma. So let's say you witness somebody dying, right? At a young age, right? Mm-hmm. That's not going to build an insecurity in you.
It is, because that person will not interact with people because of their fear of dying. It plants an insecurity. That is an insecurity.
What y'all think? I want y'all to in the comment section tell me if I'm wrong or if he wrong. Because I don't believe that a child can be insecure. I believe a child is raised. A child a child is a reflection of who's raising them. So if they witness their mom or their dad,
So let me ask you this: why is the dad beating the mom?
I don't know. Why is he beating the mom? I don't know.
Is that not an insecurity?
I don't think that's an insecurity. I think that's a problem.
So let me tell you: anytime somebody feels the need to tear somebody else down,
that's not. In a sense, that is, I'll agree with you. That's a way of tearing somebody down. But that could be a controlling issue. So that's not an insecurity.
Being in control of things is an insecurity.
How is that an insecurity? How is being in control?
Because you have to.
Are you in control of your life?
Yes.
So you're insecure?
No, I'm in control of myself.
I know.
There's a difference. I'm not in control out of what happens outside of myself. So, I don't try to be in control out of what happens outside of myself.
So just because he beating her ass, that does not make him insecure. That just means something is wrong with him.
That's insecure.
That's not.
Slick.
That's not an insecurity, Slick. He got a fucking problem.
That's an insecurity.
So a narcissist is an insecurity?
Yes.
What?
It stems from insecurity. All of these issues that you're naming stem from an insecurity.
I don't believe it.
Understand what an insecurity is.
I know what it is.
If you know what it is, then you would understand that these are insecure actions.
Okay. Google the definition of insecurity.
Yeah, Google. Uncertain or anxious about oneself, lack of confidence.
So that doesn't mean because a nigga beating her ass doesn't mean he has a lack of confidence?
It does, because to her, she made him underconfident. Whatever woman, you should never want to hit a woman. If you have to hit a woman, that shows insecurity. Because she made you feel uncertain or unconfident about
What if he
yourself.
was defending himself?
Defense is so. I would say that you should defend yourself, but understanding that your reactions.
Now don't take this the wrong way. I'm not saying that it's cool to hit on women. Let's get that out the way. It's absolutely not cool. You know what I'm saying?
Understand that your actions have consequences. There are ways to defend yourself without hurting somebody.
Exactly. So that doesn't mean because I don't feel like.
But if she's hitting on you,
if a
she's
nigga
beating on you, you made her insecure, or vice versa. She has an insecurity. Nobody should hit anybody.
Well, I don't believe that somebody bullying somebody is an insecurity.
If you're bullying somebody, you're bullying them from a stemmed insecurity.
It's not.
That's
only a reflection of what you've seen. Just like with murderers and rapists.
Same thing.
It's not insecure. Somebody inflicted pain onto them.
And
hold up. Somebody inflicted pain on them, and it probably came from somebody that they loved the most, that they looked up to and they cherished, and they thought that it was love. It's a twisted cycle. It's a twisted way of thinking. So now they believe, hey, this is how love is shown. Mm-hmm. And so they inflict that as they get older. It becomes a sickness. That's a sickness.
It is an unconscious insecurity is what it is. They're not conscious of their actions. They don't understand where they're wrong in their actions because of what they were taught. In actual reality, they're just doing what they've seen. Right? But They don't know that stems from another person's insecurity. The person who originally did it was insecure.
I don't know, my boy. I don't think that's an insecure. I think that's a form of what would you call it? I don't even know what you would call it. Honestly, what's the word for it? I just feel like it's a reflection.
You can reflect the insecurity.
Yeah, you can, but that doesn't mean that it's an insecurity on your part though.
It
That
may,
doesn't mean that because you reflecting an insecurity, you could be insecure, and I could just be going off of what you showing me.
but that still makes it an
But that don't
insecurity
mean that
because you're enacting an insecurity.
But that doesn't mean that I'm insecure. I'm just going off your energy.
But if my energy is insecure, then your energy is insecure. If you're
Yeah,
reflecting what I'm showing.
exactly. But it's
So
not. It's not. But it's still not an
you
insecurity
don't
on me though.
understand that it's an insecurity, but just because you don't understand it doesn't mean it's not an insecurity.
Well, bullying is not an insecurity.
Bullying
That's,
stems from insecurities.
I don't think that it is.
It does.
I don't think it
The
is.
need to prove you're dominant over somebody. Anybody who needs to prove that they are dominant or has some type of precedence over somebody is insecure.
Say that one more time.
Anybody who feels as if they need to assert their dominance or have some type of presidency over somebody is insecure. Because without that person, what would you do? You're only doing it because that person's there. A lot of people can't be by themselves. They would go crazy.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, I because you feel when that's like trying to prove yourself to be hard. If you already know you hard, you know what I'm saying. You don't have to prove it.
Exactly.
So I will
Same
agree
thing
with
with
you on that, but
insecurity.
I don't believe that being bullied or a kid bullying somebody is an insecure. That's an insecure kid. It's not an insecure kid. It's a traumatized kid that's reflecting on what he's seeing onto other
Insecurity.
people. It's not an insecurity.
He's reflecting the insecurity, so it's an insecurity.
Is so if I see you get up every morning to cut the grass,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll be like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna start cutting the grass too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm only mimicking what I see.
Yeah, but that's not harmful.
I understand that. It's the same thing. The kid is only mimicking what he see.
That's cool.
That's and in the kid's head, that's how things supposed to happen.
But you can't mimic things.
Kids are like sponges. So
Yeah, but when you mimic something that you don't understand, it doesn't matter.
that's the
It's
point
still,
of them being a kid because they don't understand it.
But you still are bringing, you're still stemming from an insecurity. Oh, I guess I'm supposed to act like that because everybody else is acting like that, so I have to act like that. You don't have any consciousness of what you're doing.
A kid really has no conscience of what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Some kids. It's a lot of kids. It's a lot of kids. It's a lot of kids that are very advanced.
Why is that?
It's different cultures.
It has nothing to do with different cultures.
Yes, it does.
Why is it that kids don't understand what they're doing?
Some kids, but if you go to Japan, the algorithm that the kids watch over here in America is totally different from over there in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
The bullshit that the kids watch over here in the U.S. is totally different. It ain't no. It's all about competitions over there. Who won the spelling bee, or who won a marathon or a karate contest or something like that. Over here, that's what they over there in Japan. That's the algorithm over there. But they control all of the algorithm.
They control all of the algorithm here.
For sure. So that's why they feed our children comedy, shoes, and
There's a variety of things that you can feed your children over here. The only difference is over there it's a control group. They only know certain things.
Exactly.
Versus
That's because they only allow them to see certain shit.
To
that's why the kids over here are so fucked up.
They allow you to be able to make your own choices, but that's not why the kids are fucked up. The kids are fucked up because they have to function in the system that was created by their ancestors and continuously repeat it. And instead of being able to be themselves, they were told that they have to fall into that one category or that system. So you can't just go out and be who you want to be in the world. You have to fall into the algorithm that you have to be like everybody else. You have to be successful. You have to go chase this. You have to make money. You got to get women. You got to do all of this. That's what people see everybody else going for, and they follow everybody else.
Prime example. So I took my son to school, right?
Right.
Took my son to school, and
First things first. Think about school.
right,
Why is it that we're allowing schools to teach our children how to be, and we're not the ones doing it?
because we got to go to work
Okay. Why do we have to go to work?
to provide for them.
Why?
Why do we have to provide for them?
Why?
Why do we have to provide for
No.
our kids?
Why do we have to go to work?
I just told you to provide for our kids.
Why is it that you have to go to work to provide for your kids?
Well, let's break it down. I'm starting my own business, so all of that's about to be canceled. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe in a 9 to 5. I think it's slavery. Having somebody control your every movement. Hey, boss, can I go? First of all, just the word of calling somebody else boss, I got a problem with that.
So my next question is
But it's a good starter kit though. I ain't saying that a 9 to 5 is bad because if you got a 9 to 5, it's cool. You got to start somewhere.
no.
But
Let's take it out of that. What is it that you're going to work for?
for a paycheck,
What is the paycheck?
it's money.
And what does money do?
It's currency.
What is the importance of money?
The importance of money is so you can pay bills, provide for your family
Why is that a necessity?
because the economy is built off money.
The economy.
Yeah.
Why is it important to function in an economy?
Nothing in this world is free.
Why?
You gotta ask the government, Slick. I didn't make the government. If you get in trouble, you gotta pay
the
for a
reason
lawyer,
I'm
don't you?
asking you this is because the world has been built in a way where you have to rely on everybody else around you in order to be successful, be happy,
You don't have to. You don't have to.
or not be happy, be successful. Um, what I'm saying is that the world is built in an algorithm where people are codependent on each other. They're codependent on everyone, right?
It takes money to make money.
If you don't go to work,
You don't get paid. You don't get no
no.
money.
If you don't go to work, then somebody else doesn't get what they want.
And who is that somebody else?
Majority of it is the rich people, but the small percentage of it is the people around you, right?
Right.
Whereas they don't have basic skills to survive. They don't know how to grow their own food. They don't know how to fend for their own water. They don't know how to build a house. They don't know how to build a car.
Do you know how to do all these things?
Yeah. So because most people don't know how to do these things, we have to come together collectively and everybody has to work so that way everybody can have something, right?
Right.
But the issue comes in where you have successful people way above everybody else, right?
Right.
If the economy was everybody working together, it wouldn't be an issue. The issue is that they don't want to work with you. They don't want to be around you. So they
That's the
devise.
Jews.
They,
With Kanye.
it may not necessarily be the Jews. They
It
control
is.
a lot of wealth in the world. I'm not going to put it all on one group. I look at it versus rich
They
versus poor.
They control a lot.
I look at it as rich versus poor. Who is in control of the wealth and who is not in control of the wealth.
So it takes money to make money.
So
If
what
you
I'm
don't,
telling you is that while people are sitting at the top, they have no interest what goes on below them. As long as their lifestyle is good, there's no issues.
exactly.
But we deal with all the issues, right? As people.
Right.
And what that does is it creates an insecurity in people. Because these people are successful, they get to sit there and do absolutely whatever they want.
So how do the problems create insecurity?
I'm telling you.
I'm asking you, how does the
They
problem?
see a person at the top
Right.
sitting there. Everything he can want. money, cars, clothes, everything they advertise to you that you want to chase. And they're in control of all of that.
But it
You
all
being a
depends
normal
on. But it
person,
all depends on what your
but
definition
you
of
being,
success is.
I know that, and I'm going to get to that. You being a normal person who has to function inside of these boundaries where you have to be a part of society.
Right.
Because that's what everybody thinks, right? I got to get
Okay.
the cars, I got to get the money, I got to get the woman. You being a normal person inside of that society, when all of your efforts are going into things and you see no progress from it, you're not getting the cars, you're not getting the money, you're not getting the woman, you're working your ass off for a paycheck
Right.
that can barely cover bills. I work in a factory, for example. I work with a lot of cool people. I noticed that we're building parts for cars that majority of us can't even afford to buy. So who are we building them for?
The consumers that can afford it.
The people
But
who
it's not their fault that we can't afford it.
it is.
They know something that we don't know.
It is.
It's not.
Because in actual reality,
You can't blame nobody for your
allow me to
misfortune.
explain. In actual reality, all of those things that we build are actually very destructive.
So what's destructive about building a car?
A car, carbon emissions, you have to use resources for it. There's a lot of issues with building a car.
So what would you prefer they build?
A society where majority of these things aren't here because they're not a
I
necessity.
know. I said, what would you prefer that they build?
I just told you. A society where majority of these things aren't here because that's not necessity to live.
So
understanding what's necessity, a functioning society where people can work together.
Transportation is a necessity.
Now,
it always has been.
You can't go to a home, build a house, and live the way you want to live because you have a government that controls that.
First of all,
right?
If you let's say
that my only priority in life is just to build a family and be happy, right?
Okay.
I don't really care what happens to collectively most people because what they do is their business. It's none of my business. I just want to build my house, build my family, and be separate from everything else.
All right.
Now, I can't do that in America because everything is controlled. Right?
Right.
They don't.
So be a cyber citizen.
They don't educate you on these things on how.
Why won't you be a cyber citizen?
Eventually, I plan to.
So everything, that means you're not going to accept no government assistance, no government aid, none of that.
Mm-hmm.
You prepared to do that?
Eventually, yes. I'm getting prepared for it.
Okay. So that means you got to turn in your license too.
That's fine.
I remember I had a conversation with you and you said that you need a license.
You do.
You don't.
If you work in America, you need a license. If you have a birth certificate, you need a license.
Yeah, but you really don't.
You do.
You don't.
We're not going to get into that debate on this show because that right there is...
That's a whole other topic, but I'm just saying that you don't. It's not speculation. That's a law.
If you're a functioning person in society, you need a license.
Tomato, tomato.
It's the law.
The law is you don't need a license.
Well, it's not a law, it's a rule.
That's the law.
No, it's a rule. And I want to break that down. What I mean by rule is if you think about somebody who rules over something, for example, a king, if they make a law about something and then they don't abide by that same law that they're enforcing, that is not a law, that's a rule. They're ruling over it. So I wanted to clarify that because
I agree with you for sure. But it's still a law though.
But it's a rule because not everybody has to abide by it. Once again, there are people who function out of that law.
But you can't force me. You can't force me into, okay, prime example. So they say, hey, where's your license, right? And you say, hey, I'm a cyber citizen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you need a license to drive on this road. No, I don't.
You do.
You don't.
You do.
No, you don't.
You do.
I'm traveling.
It depends on where you're traveling.
I
See,
can
that
travel
sovereign
all
citizen
around the
law was
world.
back when there was dirt roads. We don't have the
It doesn't matter. It's still there.
rules that are built on tax dollars. In order for you to travel on, you need a license.
You don't, Shalay.
You do.
You don't. You want to Google it?
Google it.
Google it, Shalay.
Go
It's
for
your
it.
podcast.
Go for it. I'm gonna tell you. And actually, they're about to pass a law beginning May 3rd, 2023. You will need to have a real ID compliant license or another accepted form of ID, such as a valid passport, U.S. military ID. Oh no, that's to fly. Okay. Wow, really? Just to fly?
Look up commerce.
No matter which state you live in, you are required by law to have a valid driver's license and all endorsements needed for the type of vehicle you are operating: motorcycle endorsement, commercial vehicle endorsement, etc., etc.
Commercial.
It says
Commercial.
no. It says no matter which state you live in, you are required by law to have a valid driver's license and all endorsements needed for that type of vehicle you are operating: a motorcycle endorsement, a commercial vehicle endorsement, etc., etc.
That's if you're doing. If that's only if you. Now I don't know too much about it, but that's only if you are um, doing. What is it? I believe is.
We weren't supposed to go off on this topic, but we still went off into it.
Yeah, I mean it is what it is.
But
We trying to touch bases on everything. You know what I'm saying? Right versus wrong.
there's no such thing as right or wrong. There's choices and consequences.
So if I go out and kill somebody, that's not a right or wrong situation.
And that's your choice, and you have consequences for it.
It's wrong. So you saying it's not wrong to kill?
What my moral feelings are about it, and what is actually, I can't put a judgment on it because
You can't
that's
put a
none of my
judgment on it. You got
business.
to stand on
I'm
something.
not gonna go out and kill somebody. That's what I know.
Why? Because you were taught that it was wrong.
Not because I was taught that it was wrong, because I know
Because you know
that
it's
something
wrong.
that I don't want to do.
Why? Because it's wrong to take someone's
No,
life.
it's merely something that I don't want to do. I'm not going to tell somebody that they're wrong, because if that's the outcome that you were looking for, understand that there are consequences for it.
Taking somebody's life is wrong.
And that is your personal opinion.
That's a way of control.
You just said that you were taught that.
That's a way of control.
What?
You trying to control this person.
I mean, in a way, yes.
I'm going to take your life.
Some people do it out of insecurity.
Here we
I
go with
say
the
if you
insecurity.
take somebody's life, that person made you so insecure that you took their life.
I don't think it's, like I said, I don't think that's a form of insecurity. I think it's
They made you insecure.
I don't think, because how did that person, it's random people that go around killing random people. You never even met them.
That right there is just crazy people in general.
Yeah, so you have to be literally,
But they're operating out of a state of insecurity.
which I don't think killing somebody is a form of insecurity, my boy.
I don't know, but I don't want to make this video too long because we already at 30 minutes damn near. This shit gonna take forever to upload.
Damn.
So yeah, we gonna wrap it up here. We gonna talk more. If you got any questions, hit us up.
Yo,
Let me know if you want to touch bases more on it, or I don't know. I'm here for y'all. So whatever you're looking for, just let me know and I'll talk about it. So I'm gonna leave y'all with that, and we out.